Are you one of these people that just adore your pets? Or you know somebody that just adores animals and your pets and just couldn't imagine your life without them? Or maybe you're like me and you've experienced a devastating loss of a beloved pet. Is that you? That is so heartbreaking. I know all about it. But today on the Hangout with Penny show, we are going to talk to CJ Gilbert, who is an expert in the field of animals, communicating with animals, healing with animals, channeling animals. It's just going to be an amazing show. If you are a pet lover, animal lover, then this is the one for you. So thank you for joining me. This is the Hangout with Penny show, episode 25. And for the past 24 episodes, one of my favorite things to do is to share the wine of the week with everybody. And this one, CJ, this is in honor of you. This is Tiger Horse. Because I know your business is horses. You just love horses. You have horses. You know all about horses. So we're going to talk about horses as well. So I'm going to cheers. And I know you're drinking a wonderful cup of chai tea. I love that too. So cheers, CJ, to a great show.
Yes, cheers.
Oh, yum. Okay. Now, on with the show. You're watching episode 25 of the Hangout with Penny show. The Hangout with Penny show is a weekly show, 9 p.m. Friday evenings, or 8 p.m. I did the Hangout with Michael show this morning, so the times are getting mixed up. So, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, every Friday night, the Hangout with Penny show. And my show is to inspire and uplift and empower you to live your best life. And my intention is to have people on my show such as CJ who are experts in different areas that just can uplift us and help us have a better vibration, because it's all about the law of attraction, and it is what we vibe. So we want to have people in our lives that are going to uplift us and raise our vibes. And we're actually going to talk about law of attraction and how we can use that with our animals. And that's really good. CJ's a total expert when it comes to that. I never even heard you could do that. I've been a law of attraction trainer, and I've been following the law of attraction principles for years. I've never even really thought about using the law of attraction as a tool with our pets. However, I actually have a story about how the law of attraction played a big role in my pets. So before we introduce you to CJ, I just want everybody to know that I welcome all comments from my friends. So I just want to thank everybody for the comments that you do leave me on the prior shows. So I'm going to read a couple for you, and this goes back to episode 5. So we're going way back 20 episodes ago, and that was called The Power of Kindness. And my guest co-host on that show was Cindy Brett. Now, Cindy Brett is all about kindness. She has Kindnessology, so go check her out on Facebook and like that page, because she's all about kindness. She's in a movement for kindness in the world, and I love that. So on that show, Cindy showed up for me as an unexpected last minute. She come through for me because the guest I had scheduled, something came up, and we had to change the show in a hurry. So Cindy to the rescue. That's her kindness showing up right there. So Cindy Pohl, she left a comment saying, "Yay, last minute changes freak me out. When people cancel, plans change, I lose it most times. However, I'm getting better." Me too.
Awesome.
And Esther Gallup, she says, "Hi, I'm Esther, a sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. I have been self-employed for 24 years last January. This has been a journey and is ongoing every day. Funny how life evolves. Law of attraction came into my life and is so fitting to my self-discovery. Life is self-discovery and attracting what we want into our lives. Enjoying the Penny Peddi Hangout right now, and it is so inspiring and focusing on kindness. Funny how things happen. It's a rainy day here and not much happening. This is so uplifting me so much. LOA. Awesome. We love that, Esther. Sarah Parisi, she says, really enjoying your show, Penny. And one more. Linda from AZ Point. She says, thanks for being kind enough to brighten up our lives. You're very much appreciated. Oh, thanks, Linda. So I really love those comments, so keep them coming. And if you're watching the live show right now, there is a place in the events page where you can ask a question to our guest or make a comment on the show. So we welcome all those comments. So now we're going to bring out CJ. She's going to introduce herself and just share with you what it is she does, and then we're going to get on with the show. So welcome, CJ.
Thank you, Penny. Wow, thanks so much for having me on tonight. Hi, everybody. And yes, my name is CJ Gilbert, and I'm actually broadcasting here with Penny from my farm in Wisconsin. And I am a certified animal practitioner, and I'm also an animal communicator. And I got into the energy healing world because of one of my own thoroughbred horses. She had some health concerns, and the traditional route just wasn't getting it. And I was working with a couple of different horse trainers, and they kept telling me, you know, just to get rid of her. I'm not that type of person. I feel that when an animal comes into my world, they're here to teach me to grow, and I'm here to be their guardian and help them any way I can. And that's also at the same time I was going through a career change. I have my master's in floral design. I left that world and ended up going and studying all kinds of different energy-based techniques, and then bringing them back home and working on with this mare. And as she improved, my fellow horsemen and friends and family members started to notice this and said, hey, what are you doing with that horse? And it turned into a business. So what was a quest to help this mare, Hazy Hostess, bless her heart, she's up in heaven now, has turned into also a passion and a mission to also help horses and animals worldwide. And the animal communicating thing, I've been doing that since I was a little girl. I've always been able to talk and listen to animals. I realized kind of early on that other people didn't do this, and so I shut it down and, you know, kind of kept it to myself. And it was my first training. The last day that I was there, one of their horses wasn't doing very good, and they came in, and the two instructors were discussing this, and the horse, meantime, is talking away to me, and the one instructor said, he's talking to you, isn't he? And I said, no, mm-mm. And she's like, CJ, we know, the horse is talking to you, it's okay. I didn't trust him, but the horse said, it's okay. You can trust them. They're not going to tease you. They're not going to make fun of you. And so I just blurted out everything that this horse said and what he required. We took care of it, and the horse got better. So I started my business back in 1998. It's been basically part-time because I'm also a mom. My kids are now out of the house and off doing their things, so now I'm getting back into more full-time. And I work with animals all over the world, and my specialty is horses, but I also work with dogs and cats. And I teach a variety of workshops and different clinics, and it's always fun with me.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it. So before we get into the show, I already have a question. So that's why I have my glasses on so I can read this. I can read it better. So Tana Marshall, she's with us, and she says, so excited to be here, live for the show, watching with my beloved, cuddly buddy kitty, Boo Boo. I love that, Boo Boo. Linda Gannon.
Hey.
She says, we'll be watching, looking forward to hear what CJ has to say. I have a kitten, Lewis, who is about 9 months, and he likes to be picked up and purrs, but does not turn in towards me and look at me. He will, He will for a while if I pick him up so that he is facing me, but will only do so for a short period of time. He appears to be happy otherwise, and if I just talk to him, he purrs. Just wondering why he will not engage with her.
Okay. Do you want me to answer that now?
Yeah, sure, if
Or,
you can. And I
okay.
know you can. That was great.
Well, we can go back to Penny has discussed this, I know, many times on her Hangout shows, is, you know, what law of attraction is. And it's our viewpoint. If we're putting out something positive, this universal energy is going to give us more of that to experience. If we're putting out something negative, again, this universal energy is going to put something out. When we have a concern, whether it's a behavior, a health concern, or whatever with our pets, whatever that story is, our pets are going to match it. And if she is looking at and concerned about, why isn't he looking at me? What's the problem here? You're going to get more evidence of him not looking at you. However, if you could say, I wonder what it would be like if he could look at me maybe 50% more times. I wonder what it would be like if it didn't matter. You know, kind of drop it for a while, not to make it a big concern. How much space can I give him to just be who he be and allow us to have a fun relationship? That can help you to shift to something different and allows your cat to really blossom and open up. You know, I worked with some people that they had a cat. He was probably 3 years old and he didn't purr, and it drove them nuts. It's like, why does cat purr? All cats should purr. And I said, you're so focused on him not purring, law of attraction is matching that and bringing you more of not purring.
Oh, you're so right.
So anyway, look at what your story is and just kind of be playful about it. And I like to ask, you know, what else is possible here? There's a fun one that I know Penny likes to say is, you know, lots can happen. And be open to new possibilities. And all of a sudden, it's going to happen. He's going to start looking at you more. You're going to start engaging more. And let it be a fun unfolding, not a necessity. So I hope that helps. Let us know. I'd love to hear an update about their experiences.
Oh, I love how you answered that. And Linda, I'm going to share something with you. It's so law of attraction, and I tell you, when I did this, it totally changed everything. First of all, the law of attraction definition. I attract to my life whatever I give my attention, energy, and focus to, whether wanted or unwanted. I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. But I used to say, I don't like cats. I don't like cats. I don't know why I didn't like cats. Because I was a dog lover, but I would say I don't like cats. Because I give the attention to I don't like cats, guess what showed up in my life? A stray mommy cat. She was pregnant. Of course, I have a heart of gold when it comes to the kids brought her home. It was middle of the winter. So there we have a mommy cat. She gives birth to 2 kittens. So now I got 3 cats. The one that doesn't like cats. I got 3 cats. By the time I couldn't wait for 6 weeks to come so we could give these kittens away. Until 6 weeks came, and it was like, oh no, you're not. They're not going anywhere. These are my cats. But Linda, to help you out, we had a male and a female. And the female, she was always friendly, but the male, he always kept his distance. But I kept trying to force him to come to me. And one day, I was just sitting on the chair, and we named him Spook. My husband actually named him Spook because he was so skittish. You just looked at him, he was just always skittish. And you just could look at him. Anyway, so I was sitting in the chair, and he was just coming around the corner, and I looked at him, and he kind of like did this. And I said, look, I'll make you a deal. I will leave you alone. And when you're ready, you come to me. And I did. I left him alone, and slowly, if I was eating olives, he loved olives, so he was, so you know I ate olives a lot. But anyway, so then he came to me, and we became, well, I called him my best friend, because he helped me through so much. So Linda, I hope that helps, because it is all about the law of attraction. When I was trying to push him onto me, no, I had to let go and attract him. I attracted him into my life by just letting it go. That's a good. That's what we should do in all areas of our life too. It's just like let things go, attract it to you instead of like trying to go after it. Okay.
Definitely. Good
I want to acknowledge all the viewers right now, so thank you. Hi, everybody, for watching. Okay, I jotted down a few things because I get so excited when it comes to this. Boy, what was I going to say? I wanted to start with, yeah, the job description. Job description of the law of attraction is to match vibration. And I watched one of your Hangout shows. You have Hangout with CJ, right? .com. And I watched one of your Hangouts one time, and you were talking about the job description of your pets, your animals. Can you explain that a little bit, CJ?
I'd be happy to. Typically, most different breeds of animals, whether it's horses, dogs, and even cats, and other animals too in the animal kingdom, they have specific tasks or something that they're really good at. Like a border collie is excellent at herding. They wouldn't be such a great, maybe, well, they can be, but you know, a lap dog. They're a working dog. And the same goes with horses. There's some horses that are really good with reining. There's some horses that are really good in dressage or jumping. You know, they have different things that they're really good at. Well, one time I got contacted by a client, and she worked in a veterinary supply house, which mainly had men customers. And she brought her 2 dogs. She had a pug and a boxer, I believe it was, or a Boston Terrier was, and got along great. Everything was going fine. And then all of a sudden, the little Boston Terrier was having a conniption. He just did not like these customers, and he's growling and barking at them. And she's like, "What am I going to do? Because I don't want to leave him at home. I want to be able to, you know, keep bringing him to work." And I found out that he was trying to protect her. And there was a woman that kept coming over every day and taking him for walks and telling him, "You have to protect your mother. That's really important." So what I did is I said to her, he's confused about what his job is. You're thinking one thing, this other woman's telling him a different thing, and then of course he has his own idea. And we can have conflicts over that. We can have wars with him over that too. So I said, how about if he be the Walmart greeter? And she's like, "You mean I got to take him to Walmart and you know, have him watch a Walmart greeter?" And I said, "No, we're just going to tell him what it is." And basically what it is you want to, and you can write this down just to get some clarity of what you want them to do. So for him, we wanted him to be cordial and nice and allow these customers to stay longer, because if they stayed longer, they purchase more items. Now with the job, there's also got to be a payoff. Just like us, when we go to work, you know, we want to be of service, but we also want to have our payoff, you know. And animals are the same way. So we told him his payoff would be he could get extra treats or maybe extra toys because his mother would make more money. So she said, so we told this dog, he was agreeable. That's the other thing, is it has to be agreeable. And you can renegotiate. If there gets to be a little glitch or something that needs to be changed, you can ask to renegotiate with your pet. So if, the next week she contacted me and she says, "If I hadn't seen this with my own eyes," she says, "I don't think I would ever believe this." He started yodeling. He started yodeling to these customers, which they just started laughing and thought it was a hoot, which of course they stayed longer and they purchased more items. And I said, "Well, don't forget to give your part of the bargain, and that's, you know, more treats and things like that." So anyway, that's, you know, what a job description is. And you know, and different animals can have different things. You know, I have 2 horses, and one is a Hanoverian, and she has many different jobs. And one of them, she's to be the leader of the herd, and she's also to be healthy. That's a job. I want her to be healthy and strong and sound. And because some animals will be so concerned about their owners that they let their own health go. So I put that in the job description, is that they have to be healthy. They got to take care of themselves. And then the other horse, she's second in line in the herd, and the same thing for her. She's to be healthy and happy, and she's to be safe around people, and then her job soon is going to be, we're going to do some cowboy dressage with her and possibly reining. But anyway, you can write this down, and then you go out and you just talk to them like you're talking to your best friend. And then in return, I'm giving them shelter, I'm giving them grain, I'm giving them free choice hay, they get free choice water. They've got approximately, I don't know, 40 acres or more of pasture and woods and stuff, and they get taken care of. So that's my paycheck to them, so to speak. So that's kind of briefly what job description is. And,
I love that. I love that. And CJ, you touched on something that, oh, my heart skipped a beat, and it's about heartache, heartbreak. So my two kittens that then grew up and stayed with me for 16 and a half and 17 years. But
that's wonderful.
So they were about, I don't know, 8 or so when my husband and I ended up splitting up, and then my son was old enough and he moved out of the house, and I was on my own with the cats. And there was many, like, that's when I started going through changing my whole life with the law of attraction and everything. But there was many times where I was sad and I would be crying, and so wherever my male cat was, we developed such a bond. Once I allowed him to come to me, we developed such a bond. And it didn't matter where he was. If I was upset, he would come. It's like he sensed it. He knew. And he would come to me, and he would get on my lap, and he would actually put his head here, or he would come and sit on my shoulder. And like you said, I would just talk to him, and I would cry. But what you said that just struck me was, because I was going through a heartbreak. Everybody was gone, and I was grieving for my marriage. I was grieving. Anyway, my cat died of heart failure.
Oh, wow.
And the Friday night, see, he started to kind of choke up, but he was always a good brother to his sister, and he would always clean her, and because she had health issues throughout her life, and so he was always cleaning her, and I guess he was just like the protector. And so I thought he had hairball, because he was just like choking up like he had a hairball, and I didn't pay too much attention to it because he seemed fine otherwise, until it was Friday night, and he wanted to go out. And his meow changed, and I recognized that meow, and I knew he was sick. I knew he was sick, and I started to panic. I'm like, oh my God, he's dying. I just knew it. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with him before that, but I just knew it. And I phoned the vet first thing in the morning, and she said, come on in. And sure enough, they took x-rays, and he had fluid all built up on his heart, and that's what the choking was. It wasn't a fur ball. So they give him medicine, but they said there was nothing that they could do. And I took him home, and oh my gosh. So I thought I was doing the right thing, and I made the appointment to have him put down on the Tuesday, and because they were born together, I thought it was only fair if they were born together, they were going to leave together. So I had made the appointment, and I was going to have them both. They're now like 16 and a half years old, and like I said, she'd had health issues, so I was letting them both go together. That Monday, I was at work. I was a mess. I was outside all day crying. I couldn't even work. I was a mess because I knew what was happening the next day. But prior to that, on the Sunday, I wanted to find out the stages of death that they go through, because like I wanted my cat to come to me, and he didn't. He was getting his distance as far as he could, and I wanted to know the stages of death. And I did some research, and when I found out the stage, I had to allow him that time. And on the Monday, he was going on the Tuesday. On the Monday night, I was calm, and I spoke to him, and I said, it's okay, you can go. And oh, it was just crazy. I don't even know who I was. I was just like trying to be strong for him. So the next morning, I go to work. The appointment was in the afternoon, so my friend was going to come with me. I get home, I open the door, and there was this stillness, and I knew he was already gone. And I went downstairs, and there he was. And oh my gosh, my heart was so, because, yeah, he took on that, because I have heard of that before, where people have had cancers, and their cats especially, that I've heard of, they'll actually be, and they'll take on that illness, and they'll leave with that illness, and their owners are saved, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's true. I've seen it many times in my practice that there was a woman that had breast cancer, and she had this dog that was on a feeding tube, and she was in remission. And he said, I'm going to be going soon. Talk to her. Help her. And so I talked to her about what she was going through, and about getting her power back and her strength back, and nurturing herself, and just being with her, being present with her. And then I came back and saw her again, and she said, you know, if you didn't see his feeding tube, you'd think that the dog was perfectly healthy, and the vets couldn't figure out, you know, it's like, what's going on? But he did, and he ended up dying. And I know that he took with him a lot of her heartache, a lot of her sadness, and just whatever he could to help her on her journey. And they're amazing that way. The interesting thing is, if we do know about this, we can ask our pets, you know, to help us, but they don't have to hold on to it. They can transmute it. You know, it's just like me, when I started working with animals and with people, because I work with their owners. I'm an empath, and an empath, I feel people's heartaches. I feel, if you got injured, I feel it in my body. If you had surgery or whatever, I feel it. I was working on a draft horse that one and its partner both got hit by lightning, and the other one got killed. And this one she adopted, and she was having problems. She says, I can't seem to get him past with his training. He just seems to be stuck here. And so I'm talking to this horse, and I said, well, what's going on with you? And all of a sudden I felt like lightning just hit my leg, and my leg went flying up in the most weirdest position, and I dropped to the ground. And I'm like, okay, you don't need to make it that strong on me. we can lighten it up here. You give me information without blasting me. But anyway, that can be part of the job description, is for them to be healthy. They can help us with our journey, because they do. I mean, my cat, every time I'm sad or I don't feel good or whatever, he's right there on my lap and just purring away and saying, you know what, you're fine. You're fine. I'll take care of you. But part of his job description is not to take on my crap. I can transmute that. So and it's learn. So don't feel bad about that, because you didn't know. And and that was what he wanted to do. That was his gift for you. And that's pretty precious.
Oh, don't get me going. Oh, okay, so so many times throughout my life, I have heard people say, it's just a cat, it's just a dog, it's just whatever. Oh no. In my opinion, they're not just a cat, they're not just a dog. They have a soul. They have a soul just like we do. So just as a law of attraction perspective, if you believe in reincarnation, for all you people that say it's just a cat or just a dog, be careful. It might come back as one of them. Then see how you like it. Oh gosh.
Well, you're right, and I've actually seen evidence of this. This one customer that I had, she's a doctor, and she did rescue work, and then she also foster cared German Shepherd dogs, but she did a lot of foster care and rescue work of horses and things. Well, she got this pony, and she got it from Colorado. I mean, we're up here in Wisconsin, so it was trailered all the way up. And so she gets this pony, and she contacts me, and she says, "Are you coming out this week?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, I want you to talk to this pony because something's wrong." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you mean something's wrong?" And she said, "Well, one thing, he's not the same color as what they pictured, showed me on the internet." And I contacted the people that she got this pony from, and they said, "Yes, that's the right pony, and no, it's supposed to be this color." And she's like, "It's not. It's a completely different color." And the other weird thing was he was starting to go blind. And they said, "No, his health was perfect. He's not going blind." So when I went to talk to him, I heard two voices, not one. I heard two. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And what I found out was, when I talked to him, when he was being hauled, the trucker went up to, I don't know, I think it was like South Dakota, and he had to stop there to pick up more horses. And there was a snowstorm, so he got stuck there. And this pony thought he was going to die. He didn't know what was going on. He's thrown in a trailer with a bunch of other horses. He doesn't, he has no idea what's happening to him. So he thought he was going to die. There was another horse that had died, and its spirit came over and talked to him and said, "I will take care of you." And so that pony allowed this other horse to come in and take care of, and work with him and take care of him. So then when they came to Wisconsin, to this different, rescue facility, his color had changed and his eyesight had changed. So I thanked the horse for doing this beautiful job of keeping this pony safe, and if it was all right, could he leave now? And it has to be agreeable to both parties. I never just do something because I think it's right. It has to be if it's okay with them, because that's a relationship that they developed, and I'm not going to rip them apart. And they both agreed. It was fine. He was going to be okay there. He loved where he was at, and the other horse left. And so we were heading back to the barn, and she turns around and she goes, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "He's following us." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "He wouldn't be able to do that before because he was going blind." So that means his eyesight's starting to change. And then she contacted me a few days later and said his hair coat changed back to what it was originally.
Oh.
So they reincarnate. They can attach themselves, or even be in, share the same body, so to speak. And sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it can create some problems.
I just want to read a comment before we carry on, and this is from Tina Marshall, and she says, "Oh my OMG, Penny, I'm crying hearing about your sweet cat. I don't know how you kept it together to tell the story." I don't know either. It's amazing. It's amazing. I have it in my stomach. It's amazing how our pets respond to what's going on with us emotionally. My first cat, Lucky, developed asthma when I started having anxiety attacks after the 1994 earthquake here in LA. It breaks my heart that they take on so much to help us. They are little angels, and they are such a blessing. CJ, you are amazing with animals. Bless you for the work you do.
Thank you, Tana.
I had to just read that. Can I just continue for a second about, so after I walked in and I found out that my cat was already gone, my one cat, like I said, I had made the appointment to have them both put down. Well, he spared her life. There was only like a matter of hours, and they were both going. He left before I got home. He'd already transitioned before I got home. Wow. of course, I wasn't going to take her now. And but a week, she started letting out these noises, and I called the vet, and I said, there's something wrong, can I bring her in? And she told me, she said, Penny, she's in mourning. And I'm like, she's in mourning? She was in mourning because they were always together, and like I said, he was like always, and she was missing him, and she went into mourning, and she actually pretty much starved herself. So 6 months later, I did have to have her put down. There was no choice because she it was such a sad thing to watch. But I'll tell you, she got a lot of attention, attention and love in those last 6 months that she was with me. But anyway, this is a crazy topic. Let's go on.
Well, you brought up something good though. There is they do mourn, and they do, I mean, we've seen this on Facebook and TV and things when a soldier has died and the dog doesn't want to leave them, even at the gravesite, the dog, there is an attachment there, and they do, and they'll mourn. When I lost Hazy, the horse that actually got me into all of this, I couldn't find him for a day, and the grass is so tall out here, and I'm looking, and we thought it's like, where did she go to? And there's 2 horses out there, and I found them. They were way back in this corner, and her daughter wasn't leaving her side. She was standing right over her, and then after we buried, her mother, the neighbors called and said, your horse is over here. She was so lonesome and looking for her mother, or looking for companionship. She went down our driveway, which is quite a ways, and then across a highway and up on the neighbors. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I looked for another horse, and she, she has a horse with her, because they definitely need a lot of animals. They're herd animals, and they need to have that companionship too. But they mourn, and they grieve, and they were siblings. They've been together all their lives, so that's understandable.
So you've also helped me understand something, that my friends, because I had the 2 cats, and because I had such a close attachment to my male cat, I mean, I loved Sissy, the other one too. Her name was Sissy and Spook, and it was just a different. It was just different. We had a connection. But my friends would say I had a favorite. I had a favorite. So whenever they would both be in the room, I'd be sure not to give him more attention than her. I would do the same. If they always got treats together. So usually, if she wasn't around, then he did get more attention. But there was just something. There was some kind of bond. There was something that I can't even explain it. But he was. What was he doing?
He had a different role in your life than she did. So he was the healer. He was your companion. He was the one that came to you when you were sad and had things going on, and he could sense internally what was going on with you. The female, Sissy, she was more creating that space for you and him. So like you commented before the show how she would purr, even though she wasn't next to you or in your lap. That purring creates a vibration, and that's going out into that room, into that space. So she's almost like a sentinel. She was, he was the guardian. He was right there next to you, but she was also part of your healing and your journey too. And it is funny how people from the outside, say you're favoring this one over this one. Yes and no, because if you look at it in a different viewpoint, that's what they wanted. They chose those roles. And even though she wasn't in your lap or she wasn't doing some of these things, she still was doing her part in your life.
Oh, we've gone over, but I could talk about this forever. So listen,
we can go on forever.
This is a Hangout with Penny show. You can tell what I love. Remember when I said I didn't like cats? Well, hey, I learned a lot of lessons about that, and I totally love them. They have personalities. They're just wonderful animals. So what I'm interested in hearing a little bit about, and I'm sure the viewers would like to know, what is distance healing? Like, I don't really understand that. So how do you distance heal an animal?
Okay, good question. First of all, what I do is I talk with the owner to see what their concerns are, and I can do this by Skype or by phone. I also do this by email too, and they can tell me their concerns. It's kind of like I'm a mediator. I hear their side, and then I hear the animal side. So then I connect with the animal and see what's going on with them. So I can talk to an animal anywhere in the world. I basically need your name, the owner, the pet's name, the location, and then your permission. I do not talk to animals without your permission. I feel that's a violation of your privacy, and that's one of my codes, is I do not talk to them. But anyway, so I do a lot of energy healing, and what I do is basically, and it's going to sound kind of wacky, but the power of prayer can be anywhere, and we've seen evidence and proof that that works.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've been trained to do is and it's probably just one of my gifts too, is I actually can see the animal. So I can see almost like a holographic picture of them. I don't need an actual photograph. I mean, some animal communicators and healers need a photograph. I don't. And I see this, and then I do the energy work depending on what they need. The energy work that I would like to work with the most is called reconnective healing, and also matrix energetics. And I'm trained. If you go to my website, I'm trained in so many things just because I love to learn. and I want to have what's best for the animal. And so if there's something out there that's going to help them, I'm game to learn it. But I've also trust the animal. I have been guided to trust this universal intelligent energy. Information will come to me. And I remember one time I was looking at a horse, and I could tell that the ribs were out. And when I would run my hands across the ribs, I would hear music. And I'm like, well, this is interesting, but it sounds like it's out of tune. But I just trusted it. I'm like, that's kind of wacky, but I'm just going to trust it. And I heard, tune it up. And I thought, well, how? And I heard, well, put your hand here, put your hand here. And I think in this case I sang a song. And the rib popped back into place. So it's kind of a cocktail of a variety of things in my training that I trust and use, with each individual animal. I really don't have to know what's going on. I used to have to, because of also my other training. I used to work for an equine veterinarian, and so I've been very trained to, look at the symptoms, look at the root, and all these other things. And the training that I've been taking in the last two or 3 years now, you don't have to do that. You trust that the divine intelligence will bring in these frequencies, just like we were talking about with law of attraction and the vibration. Will bring in these frequencies to bring that animal back to its original blueprint of health and vitality. And I also work with people too. So I had a horse that I was working on, and all she told me was he wasn't feeling good. I always ask them to check in with their vets, because I don't diagnose or cure or treat, And she said, no, it's not really something for the vet, but I just feel, and she's been a client of mine for probably 10 years or more. And so I worked on him. I didn't know anything about what was going on with him. Worked on him, and a few days later she said, what did you do? Because he had a goiter, and it shrunk 50%. And I said, I didn't know he had a goiter. And I said, well, it's recommended to do 1 to 3 sessions, and she said, well, let's do 2 more and see what happens. And by the 3rd session, he was completely normal, completely healed. I worked on a foal actually a few weeks ago that had a hernia, and the vet said he may outgrow it, he may not. We don't know. I just did this energy work, and she had him checked by a different vet, and that vet said there's no hernia, it's gone.
Oh. Okay.
So it works on emotional, physical, spiritual. I've worked with people on all different levels, anything from their finances and career to health and concerns, or their relationships, because I'm pretty game to helping anybody. But I also, long distance, if you think of the power of prayer, our thoughts, and science is able to track our thoughts and to see evidence of this frequencies that, we're like this radio tower sending out. And I just send out this signal to connect with, like I said, I just need the name of the owner, the address, the name of the dog or cat or person or horse, whatever, permission, and then I connect with them, and then I see this like holographic picture in front of me. I see energy patterns. And so I see this and just ask, how can I be of service? What would be best for this animal? Because I'm not going to force what I think they should do or shouldn't do. And when that happens, magic happens. It's fun.
Oh, I'm so intrigued. But with respect, with respect to the viewers, this really is a 30-minute show. We've gone 45 minutes.
Yeah, we have.
So while we're on the topic of the healing, distant healing, how can people contact you if there's? I mean, oh boy, this is an amazing, something amazing that you do. So how can people reach you to learn more about that?
Okay, you can go to my website, and that's right in front here. You can see the banner there. It's www.cjgilbert.com, and I've got stories on there. I've got testimonials. I've got even a video of a testimony of a dog that I worked with that was a rescue dog that had fear of men, and after I worked with her, she walked right up to a man and demanded to be petted. So
I do that. Hey,
yeah,
I want some distance.
I need to be petted now. And then, there's services, workshops, a variety of things like that, and there's contact information, and have healing hands, will travel, but like I said, most of my clients, I would say 90% it's absentee, long distance. I work with people in Canada, all around the U.S. and other countries, so that's what's really cool is I could be at home and I can connect with you and your animal anywhere. So this has been fun, Penny. Thank you, and thank you to the viewers for allowing us to go over a little bit. We get a talking.
I'll come back for your final words. I do want to read something. Linda Gannon, she made a comment. So she says, "Hi, Penny and CJ. Her internet connection had dropped off, but heard what you said, CJ. And she said she'll listen to the replay for what I had added to that. And so she said, I love him dearly. He is a little feral." He's a little F-E-R-A-L, feral.
Yeah.
CJ, and said, kitten, and I do say he is a feral kitten, and probably part of me is thinking that is why he is like the way he is. And I realized I must stop saying that and putting a label on him, and it could be why he's acting like that, and if that makes sense. So she says, thank you. I will make sure that he knows he is our beautiful cat. That's important.
Yes, brilliant of her to catch that. Yes, brilliant. Yeah, because we can do conclusions, judgments, expectations, and we're putting that all on our pets. And just her little labeling, and she caught that. That's brilliant. And they're going to have a whole really different, cool relationship. This is going to be fun for them.
This whole thing was worth it. So, yeah. CJ, I'm gonna have you back because we're gonna continue on with this. But right now, everybody, you've watched episode 25 of the Hangout with Penny show, and I invite you to come and join my community. It's my G+ community. Oh boy. Okay, episode 26 next Friday night. My guest, Jackie McLean, she is a certified hypnotherapist. She works with people with addictions. So whether it's smoking, drugs, sex, food, whatever, she's got it covered. So we're going to have an awesome show next Friday. CJ, final words for our viewers?
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being a guardian to the animals. You know, they're here to love us, and thank you for all you guys that are out there that are doing rescue work, and even just to be a pet owner. You know, sometimes it's challenging, and I don't even call you an owner. I call you a guardian. And so you're a guardian angel to them, and they are to you. So thank you. And thank you so much, Penny. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, CJ. I've loved every minute of this. Thank you for watching, everybody. And my final words are, animals have souls, just like we do. It's all about love. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.